see that one film when he was doing the gymnastics he broke his leg. Dude, like he lands and then he
One speech. The world is dying, and who is to blame for that? Well, we are. You, me, everyone alive is to blame for this. This death that we know as global warming. And many people still don't believe this is happening. And those who do believe in it may not do a whole lot to help fix it. The world needs to work together to help fight this change. Now, how do we know this is an issue? Well, after several hours of research and 2 classes over this subject, I've gotten the cold hard facts about it. And admittedly, climate change can and will happen naturally, but it doesn't happen like it is right now. It is happening significantly faster than it ever has before. And according to NASA, since 1880, about the time of the Industrial Revolution, there has been a 0.8 degrees Celsius increase in global temperature. 2/3 of this increase has been within the past 40 years. This is an increase that we can normally see over a few hundred years. So it is clear that something is happening. But why be concerned about a 0.8 degrees Celsius increase? Well, small changes can go a long way. For instance, about 20,000 years ago, it was 5 degrees Celsius colder than what we consider normal, and that meant that North America was mostly covered in ice. And if that wasn't proof enough, the top 10 recorded hottest years ever have been since the year 2000. And as of recent, every year is beating its predecessor's average in heat, with 2015 beating 2014, 2016 beating 2015, and 2017 is predicted to beat 2016. And all of this comes from some of the smartest people alive working in NASA. Now, how does something like this happen? Well, according to National Geographic, gases such as CO2, methane, nitrous oxide, water vapor, and things known as chlorofluorocarbons, or CFCs, are emitted to the atmosphere through our fueling and our electricity, our landfills, our agriculture, our refrigerants, which give us the CFCs, and other natural causes. And these gases trap heat within the atmosphere. And CFCs are actually what are degrading our ozone and taking away what protects us from the sun's radiation. And there has been a 20% increase in these gases in the past 26 years. So it hasn't taken us a long time to see a huge increase. And this whole trapping of heat is known as the greenhouse effect. And as I said before, this greenhouse effect is causing that 0.8 degrees Celsius increase. Always remember that. And scientists mostly agree that at 3 degrees Celsius, big change is going to start to happen. It's not going to mean the end of the world or that humans are going to die, but it will make changes that I will talk about in just a second. But just for perspective, if we were to cut all emissions, 100% of all human emissions, it would take about 30,000 years for the temperature to go back down to what it was before about 1880. Something else we need to be concerned about is our rapid resource burn. Every year we go through about 3 to 6 billion trees. It's hard to get the exact number because we're not counting each one we cut down, but that's an approximate. And according to International Business Time, we have about 60 years of oil left. Obviously we can find more or make it more efficient, but either way, it's not a lot left. And according to Scientific American, we have about 230 years of uranium left for nuclear energy. And that's only if we continue to use a small percentage that we do now. If we were to use more, that number would go down significantly. Now, what will happen if we were to do nothing about this? Well, you could see changes like the melting of the polar ice caps, and that could mean complete floodings of coastal cities. And on the other hand, you can see complete droughts all over the world. And these major climate changes can cause a loss of entire ecosystems because plants and animals can't adapt fast enough to this change. This means more loss of resources. And something else we're always going to have to be worried about is a possible runaway effect, which means because it's so hot, the ocean evaporates and it puts water vapor into the air, which is a greenhouse gas, which makes it hotter, which then makes more water vapor into the air and continues until we can't stop it at all. Now, what can we do just as average people to help this? Well, there are several small things that we can do that can add up to a big difference. And something you probably hear a lot now, and something I truly believe in, is reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce your resource consumption and what you do so often. Use less electricity, less heat and AC during the winter and summer. Make sure you turn your appliances and lights off. And even when you do turn them off, you may have to unplug them because some of them have what's known as vampire lights, or the small red, orange lights that indicate that things are off. You can stop these by quickly unplugging your items. It takes an extra 10 seconds out of your day. But it does help, especially when we have millions of these tiny little lights just sucking energy out. Buy more energy efficient items, light bulbs, cars, things like that. Driving is clearly something that consumes a lot of our resources. Do it less. Bike more, walk more, run more, get some exercise, and you can always carpool with a friend or a family member. And something else that you can do, and is the most important thing that you can do, is spread the word. Make sure your friends and your family and people you're close to know about this, and have them spread the word, and keep it going. This is an issue that not one person can solve. It will take everyone as a community to work towards lowering our emissions and our resource consumption. Hopefully, you all go out and actively search towards what you can do to change this and let other people know about this problem and how they can fix it. End of speech.
That was 7 minutes.